Hey HBARbarians, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be talking about huge news surrounding the development of Hedera's network, which could revolutionise the world as we know it. On the 26th of January, the official Hedera YouTube channel posted a video discussing developments in the open source, decentralization and shared world aspect of the Hedera network. The video went into detail discussing a number of updates surrounding the Hedera network and what these developments will mean, especially in regards to the Hedera coined shared worlds, which is set to be a totally decentralized version of the Metaverse. The network update, namely news surrounding the open sourcing of the Hedera Hashgraph consensus algorithm, is set to induce and facilitate the development and implementation of shared worlds, which is a concept coined by the Hedera team, which involves periods where anyone can gather, collaborate, conduct commerce, and control their own online footprint, whereby the open sourcing of the Hashgraph algorithm could give users the ability to actively carve out software datasets, which is directly facilitated by the Hashgraph algorithm. This factor will provide the potential for the active sharing of datasets between specific users, and thus an individual Hashgraph ledger will form. The ability to create individual Hashgraph ledgers will provide the potential for such networks to interconnect and interoperate, namely due to such ledgers being backed by the same underlying technology in Hashgraph. Furthermore, each individual ledger will be able to directly interact with the Hedera Hashgraph ledger. The ability for interoperability in this manner will lead to the formation of ecosystems, which may be either private or public in nature, but information stored and created on such ledgers can be actively exchanged in a seamless and transparent manner. The following clip from the creator of the Hashgraph consensus algorithm, Lehman Baird, detailed the implications of such developments.
What do? You just kind of wave your hand and carve out a chunk of cyberspace where your information is, a document or something. And really, it's just on your hard drive. But then you want to be able to instantly invite friends. And so then they join. And now maybe automatically the software is downloaded to their computers, which is open source. So they're able to do that without asking permission. They just get it. And now the three of you, say, are all in a shared world. You have a Hashgraph ledger and you are all contributing to it in real time, reaching consensus just with each other, where you are creating documents or playing games or starting to build something bigger. And it all has this fairness of consensus. It's all extremely fast. It's private and encrypted between you. And the three of you have just created a shared world. And all it is information sitting on your laptops, on the three laptops of you, or the three desktops, or your phones, or whatever. And then they can even invite more people. And so it can grow. And you can have rules that are enforced by the ledger itself. Rules that say there is one king that controls everything, or rules that say there is no king who controls everything, that the group as a whole, anyone can invite more people, or maybe the group as a whole have to vote on any new people coming in. Whatever. You set up the rules at the beginning, it's in the code, and then it's controlled that way. And then together you can build things that will be having these rules enforced. It's just like a mini Hedera. You can build your own little shared worlds using the same code base as Hedera. And then you can have these worlds. They can be something like a game. They can be something like cooperatively building engines for an aircraft. But they can also be things like a market. You can create markets together. You can create a stock market or some kind of a financial institution, DeFi, or all these sorts of different things. Once you've created this, you have this shared world, you are not alone. Your shared world is in an infinite universe of other shared worlds. And you'll notice Hedera is there in the upper right corner. That's one of the shared worlds, is Hedera, a gigantic public ledger that everyone trusts because of the council and because of its nature. But you also have all these little shared worlds. And maybe some of them are totally private and only a certain group of people can be in it and they're just interacting together. Maybe some of them are actually public services that the whole world can get into, but a few people are running it. And then the important thing is they're all connected to each other. Information you've created in one can be used in another. Things of value created in one can be used in another. Many of them will connect to Hedera. So if you want to have tokens and tokenize the information you're creating, or have tokens that you're trading and it's a market for tokens or an auction for tokens, the tokens can be minted on Hedera and you just access it through the token service. Or you access it through the smart contract service. So it lets you do interesting things with those tokens. Or maybe your little shared world, your game that you're playing, has a state. And you're periodically taking that state and putting a hash of it through Hedera, through the consensus service, to record it for eternity and immutably. You can do all sorts of things like this using the consensus service from Hedera, using the token service and the smart contract service. You might even have a little shared world you've created that's using Hashgraph, that's using our code base for free because it's open source, and you're providing a service to the world. And you might decide to allow people to pay for that service with HBARs, which are going to come from Hedera. And so you get this whole ecosystem. You can do things absolutely without Hedera, entirely on your own. Or you have this very easy way to connect to Hedera and use Hedera to give you the power. It's entirely up to you. You can do the equivalent of L2, layer 2 things from other ledgers. You can do that on top of Hedera. Or you can do Hedera appnets. Appnets, we're using the consensus service to do all of your consensus, but you have other forms of things that you're doing in your group. All of these things are possible. Then there can even be further services that Swirls would offer where you can help remember your state for you. All sorts of things become possible. And it's all open source. Everyone's doing this on their own. The ecosystem is just exploding exponentially, and you have control. That's what this is about. And everybody's interrelated. And we're all being able to talk to each other. And one player in that market is Hedera, which is fast, fair, and secure. And everyone can talk to Hedera, and everyone can talk to each other. We can use state proofs with each other because all that complicated state proof code is part of the open source code base. And so we have this way to talk to each other with state proofs that are being able to prove that what you're doing is truly the consensus of your shared world, of your swirl. And so Swirls is going to be involved in all of that.
Hedera's vision in regards to development surrounding shared worlds has led to the network seeing the new development as a means of facilitating a decentralized form of the metaverse. The following clip features Dr. Baird talking about how shared world developments could be a means of developing the metaverse.
We can have a metaverse that is a single centralized company, where that single centralized company is controlling everything. All of the data is on top of it, and everybody who is going to participate in the metaverse has to come through the door to that one company, which of course will be advertising controlled and will spy on you so that the advertising goes better. And we can do that. We can, as humanity, go to that kind of a view of a metaverse. Or we can go to a view of a metaverse where we are a million shared worlds. Each little world that is shared by lots of people or by a few people, and then they interconnect with each other. And the metaverse allows you just to seamlessly go from one to the other. Just like the World Wide Web is now, it's even better because instead of a web page being controlled by one person, a shared world is shared between a group of people controlling it. And the rules are all enforced. And so this is the kind of future that we can be looking at. Shared worlds, and it isn't just Hashgraph shared worlds, it could be other shared worlds too will come along. And we can have standards for intercommunication, starting with state proofs, and other people can come along and do those too. They can come along and use these standards. And so this allows us then to have the better vision here.
The development of a decentralized metaverse, facilitated by shared worlds, implemented by the open sourcing of the Hashgraph algorithm, will act as a means of overcoming limitations attached to a centralized metaverse, namely infringements to privacy, whereby an overarching centralized body will be overseeing and recording actions users carry out on a respective metaverse platform. Centralized metaverse platforms such as Mark Zuckerberg's Meta is set to follow such parameters. Hedera's shared world development will see a decentralized approach to metaverse initiatives, whereby datasets will not be actively stored, controlled, or be directly observed by a single centralized body. This factor will ensure that individual user privacy is maintained. However, with the open source Hashgraph algorithm set to be the underlying technological innovation which facilitates the capabilities of individual ledgers to build metaverse platforms, the synonymous nature of the underlying Hashgraph ledger will provide the potential for ledgers to actively communicate and, in extension, induce interoperability measures. This factor will ensure that a wide and diverse number of users can directly interact, whilst also maintaining privacy and preventing the risk of a centralized party having overarching control over actions conducted between stakeholders. The common nature surrounding the underlying technology which powers such ledgers will also lead to users being able to leverage the main Hedera network, namely the DLT's token and smart contract service, whereby users will be able to mint NFTs and take advantage of smart contracts as a means of utility. This factor will also ensure that specific users are able to actively share, trade and sell NFTs or other tokens between users who leverage the underlying Hashgraph algorithm in their specific ledger. The following clip indicates how Hedera's shared world development will lead to improvements in the transparency of NFT minting, and how such measures could be beneficial for Metaverse developments built using the Hashgraph algorithm and Hedera.
Being able to do things online where no single company can control it is very cool. Some people do not have that as part of their definition of Metaverse, but I think that's the way the Metaverse ought to work, is that maybe a company you're paying to host it on their servers in some sense, but they can't steal your assets because your assets are NFTs that are coined on Hedera. And so you're just using this other company to help you do your 3D world. But the real things of value are trustworthy. But my vision of shared worlds is bigger, and the Metaverse is part of it. Absolutely. And I'm extremely excited. I have ideas about graphics that I've mentioned before. I think VR is a big thing. AR will be a big thing. This is the future. And it will be built on the ability to have rules enforced without having a single company control it, and for having things of value that you can trust. I'll give you one last example. I had an interview with someone who's a fashion designer, I think, and we were talking about virtual fashion things for your avatar. And you can imagine paying a large amount of money for a blouse or a handbag or something for your avatar that has a brand name on it. Well, the problem, of course, is that in cyberspace, nobody knows you're a dog. That's an old joke. In cyberspace, who knows that brand name is not just, I typed it in and I put a fake brand name on it. Well, the only way to know that and have the true cachet of really the brand is if there's an NFT behind it. And if your computer, your VR goggles are automatically reaching out and talking to their computer and getting proof that they truly have that NFT in real time. And then you not only see the avatar with that label, but you see some kind of a mark saying, yeah, I've checked it, this is real. And so then you have the cachet of having that label. The whole world of our world is going to move into cyberspace and move into the metaverse. And things like the foundations are going to be things like tokens and NFTs and things that you can check automatically so that you can trust them. I can't wait. And we should talk more about this in the future. This is really cool stuff. And this has been our vision for 6 years, and now it's coming. I love it.
With the huge news surrounding developments involving Metaverse initiatives through the utility of the Hashgraph algorithm and Hedera, the development of shared worlds could be the future of initiatives involving the Metaverse. What are your thoughts on Hedera? Is a shared world structure the best option for Metaverse developments? Let us know your views in the comments below. Become a Crypto Clan member by following us on Telegram and Twitter, where we talk all things crypto. Thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe and click on the notification bell. Let us know your views in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.